Queen Town.
Queen Town. What's up?
What up? How's
life?
Life with a new prez?
Same as the old life, just a little
Right.
less racist. Just more diet racist.
Yeah, we're back to 2019 racism.
Right. I saw so many people on Inauguration Day like, we made it through the storm, guys. Joe, we did it. And I was just like, but wait, we didn't do anything. Well, one, is too early and it's honestly too early to critique or praise. Like,
It's a lot of critique of like
a week. We're barely a weekend. It's not enough to critique or praise.
Haven't they only been in
just
office
released.
for 3 business days?
Yes, today's Monday, so the Monday after inauguration. So yeah, it's going on 4 business days.
Yeah. If I was them, I hope they haven't moved into their new residence. I hope they like saged it, bleached it,
Sanitized it.
yeah, prayed over it, something. So
I mean, but honestly, I don't know what's worse, Trump or like literally when the White House had slaves. So it's like either way, that house is just.
Yeah, you know.
But that's neither here nor there. which reminds me, I was on a call today. If you follow me on Facebook, I have already talked about this. But
I haven't heard anybody say if you follow me on Facebook.
Oh, that's true.
Follow me on Facebook, guys.
Okay, don't. But I'm just saying I put it on Facebook. But this reminds me that today I was in a meeting. And, I'm not going to get into specifics, but anyway, this person was pushing back on me because I am negative because I keep bringing up the shortfallings of inequity and history around inequity and white supremacy. So therefore, I am a negative person.
Is this person of lacking melanin?
Yes. Not only am I a negative person, because I continue to bring this up, but I also said, insert institution or organization is a good old boys club and has a history of being white, male, and stale. Mm-hmm. This person then says, hold up. We've had a woman president before. How could you say that? And I'm like, are you serious? And I literally was like, you don't literally have to have white men in order to hold up white supremacy and the patriarchy. Like, it doesn't matter if you had a woman president at one point. That doesn't mean you're absolved from ever being problematic again. Like, what? And so that made me think of Kamala Harris because, yes, we had history happen. Like, I was even emotional, not even saying that, clearly there's certain folks, because not all kinfolk are skinfolk, right? So there'll be black people who are put into positions, but I'm not necessarily proud of them. But honestly, say what you want about Kamala. Kamala, sorry. She's about her shit. I'm proud to see her as VP. Like, it means something, to see her there, because I can see myself there now. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that the institution is absolved from all of the racism and white supremacy that it has perpetuated since its existence. Because
hey, Nina,
all of a sudden,
don't remind me, a white person, that I make life harder for you. Stop reminding me.
It's so
that my
bizarre.
People are evil.
It's bizarre.
Wow. I asked one of my group chats, is it weird that I was more excited when Barack Obama became president compared to Kamala Harris becoming vice president? And I think I was 18. When I voted for Barack Obama and he won, that was the first time I was eligible to vote and voted. And I think it really boils down to I had a very large ignorance to politics when I was excited for Barack, because I couldn't tell you the policies he was for or against or anything. I knew he ran on hope, and I was with it. So I wasn't as critical. So it's kind of unfair to compare the experiences because I'm happy she's made it, but I'm more critical of her past and her history and her policies. Whereas Barack Obama, it was just... And
it was the first time we got to vote.
Yeah, and I feel like 18-year-olds now are way
college.
more aware of politics in the world than I was at 18.
And even then, Obama had a fairly short career.
Yeah.
So it's not even like we had tons and tons of material to rely on.
Yeah.
so there's also that. But yes, but I wasn't like Googling policy positions when I was 18. Like,
and
I
debating,
just wasn't.
do I really want this to have the vote?
I was just ready.
Black,
I was like,
vote.
do
Let's
they
go.
match the primary things? Like, at least, like they believe in giving people resources and, government playing a part in social programs. Like littlest basic shit.
Yeah. I also at 18 was very much under the guise of I'm black, so I'm Democrat. And like now I think of like 31-year-old me is like, ha! But 18-year-old me would definitely vote down that you a Democrat.
I do still for the most part, because none of the Republicans, I don't agree with any of their policy issues, but I wish there was a third party. Like, I clearly am way more liberal than Democrats, and I just want our own party so that we can actually get shit done.
Yeah. I'm more cognizant of it and don't associate Democrats to black now, whether or not that's still how I
especially since I done met a few black
voting.
Republicans at this part of my life, opposed to when I was growing up in the hood. So, yes, it's just different. But so that happened. So we'll see how that goes. We got the Versailles. Versailles.
Look, I think, were we on the phone when that was happening? And
yes, we were.
And I still, an hour later, was like, is Keisha still not there? Or,
girl, when I got on the phone with you, it was like, I think it was supposed to start at 7. It's like 15 till, right? 8. Like, it's 45 minutes past the start time. And I was like, oh, shoot, I'm going to have to get off the phone. Like, I'm thinking I'm going to have to get off the phone because I just knew the verses had started. Girl, I had you on my phone, and then I went on my computer. Both chairs just empty.
I know, empty.
Just empty.
Baby shower waiting.
Empty, right. Just empty as hell. And then another 15-minute passes, nothing happens. About 5 minutes after that, Ashanti comes in the chair. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm thinking, as soon as Keisha gets on, I'm about to, hang up the phone with Dana. Me and Dana was on the phone for about another 45 to an hour.
It was just Ashanti, them Doritos, and Ciroc just sitting there.
I know. Somebody was like, so is it Cool Ranch versus Spicy Nacho? Or like, Ashanti looked pissed. She looked like, why the fuck am I the only person in this chair?
She looked
Keisha
great.
Came on. Pissed. She did. Oh, yeah, she looked great. Then Keisha comes on about 30 minutes after that, and she has an attitude like nobody's business. It was very obvious.
Like and Keisha was there the whole time. She just wouldn't sit in front of the camera. So I
don't know the story behind this.
So she did a live. I didn't care enough to listen to the whole thing, but I watched a short clip, and she was in the live. I guess she apologized and said she should have sat out there. It was bigger than what was going on there. She should have at least sat down, even though like her setup wasn't white. She wasn't sure about whatever. But she was there. She just wasn't on camera. And out of everything from the clip that I saw, that pissed me off more than anything. Like, you were there. Y'all could have been chit-chatting. I don't know. She just...
Right.
Somebody tweeted, like, Ashanti seems like she would be fun no matter what and would make the best of a situation. Keisha seemed like the friend that something goes wrong and it blows her whole day out of whack, and everybody gonna feel the wrath of that. And I felt like she did that. Like, something was off, the chair wasn't right, and so she made 1 million people sit and wait for her for an hour.
Right, because she had attitude.
Because she had an attitude. Like, what?
Yeah, I did not hear about this. Okay, so you're telling me new news, but yeah, she came out with an attitude. Then, girl, so they playing back and forth. Ashanti decides to motherfucking start singing. The first couple songs, nobody was really singing. I forget what song Ashanti decided to pull out her vocals, her shaky vocals. This bitch started singing every word. And then I'm like, I think I even said this to you because we might have still been on the phone. But I was like, I bet you Keisha's about to start singing. And boy, was I in for a surprise. And both of them, bless their hearts, the records, amazing.
I just
the
feel
vocals live, no baby, no.
If Brandy and Monica didn't sing live,
yeah.
What gave? I mean, I guess they
Jill
was going with it.
And Erica, they didn't sing live either. They sang a little bit, but they didn't really sing.
Yeah, and well, Gladys and Patty sang down, but I mean that's clearly a league of
That's
their own because
different.
they were sitting down, belting out vocals just for funsies. Yeah, and I think were you? Yeah, it was also you who were like Ashanti's playing songs that she wrote for, and that's
Yeah,
a
I
little
thought that
unfair.
was unfair. I thought it was unfair. Ruben, my partner, did not think it was unfair. He was like, "It's fair
I don't
game."
think it's yeah. She
I thought it was unfair because I'm like, it's not like Keisha, to my knowledge, has written songs for other people that actually charted or did anything. So I just feel like it's like unfair because that's not what Keisha Cole is known for. But
yeah,
I mean,
that's
hey,
like saying
Ashanti got that pen.
we in a race and you run faster, so you got to slow down so I can run at the same pace as you.
No, but remember how they did like producer. You know, like they had a Babyface and who was the
Teddy Riley.
Teddy Riley.
They write. They have their own songs.
It was
they
more
in different
equally,
groups.
yeah. It was like more equal, right?
Did
Or they had a singer versus a singer. You know, not necessarily writing their own songs, but performing them. But to mix the two for one person and not mix the two for another person, I think gives them a bit of an advantage. Because Keisha Cole doesn't have a "I'm real," but you know, hey. Maybe
That's
I'm
Keisha
just
fault.
either way, right?
Yeah.
Ashanti won that battle in spirit, in attitude.
Ashanti
in
had
music.
a good. Ashanti was also at the inauguration singing for Jennifer Lopez while she sang. She was under the podium singing.
Oh,
Jennifer
girl, I
Lopez.
wish y'all could have seen me looking at Dana right now
Let's
in the
get
camera
live.
because I literally looked at her like. Well, I got braces, so this weekend is my birthday, y'all. You know, I'm turning 31. January 30th.
So
Hit me up, you know what I'm saying? Send positive vibes my way, cash at me, all that good stuff. Anyway, so I like got my hair done, got some knotless braids. Monday was a holiday. Last Monday was a holiday for me because it was MLK Day. So, you know, got an appointment. Now, I just moved to Chicago, which most of y'all know, and I have not had luck finding braiders that are that I deem as being worthy of consistency. Like, I'll do it sporadically, but, you know, not every braider is good at everything. So you just kind of like dibble dabble in different ones till you find a good one. So anyway, found this girl on Instagram, really loved some colors that she did because I got like a mix of 8 and 30. It was really pretty. So I was like, oh, I want to go to her. Braids look good, whatever. So I booked the appointment. I love it. She got online appointment setting. I don't got to DM you back and forth and hope that you remember in your iCalendar that we got an appointment. I don't know where to go. Like all that. I got website instructions. I can pay a deposit online, girl. Cool. So do all that. Book the appointment. Now, I've gotten knotless braids before. They took about 6-7 hours at max. But I really liked them because how light they were, and they lasted me a pretty good amount of time. So I go and I'm thinking, it's only gonna take me. I make an 8 a.m. appointment because I'm like, I'm gonna be home by early afternoon. Mm-hmm. Get to the hair appointment. You know, we get there. I got there before her, but whatever. She was only a few minutes late. We get into the room. She's like, we're talking. She's like, oh, did you bring a lunch? And I'm
lunch.
I'm thinking, if y'all don't know, like, I do intermittent fasting, so I don't even eat until like noon or 1 o'clock, depending on how late I ate that last night. So I'm thinking,
Same.
no, I'm good. It's 8. Like, I should be okay. She was like, okay, well, since you didn't bring a lunch, like, if you want to order on something on Dame Dash, because we go DoorDash, because we're going to take a break at 1. And I'm thinking, like, a break at 1?
An intermission.
A break at 1? So I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, well, I guess, I can order something, like, no big deal. Because I'm like, okay, you know, I got one of these hair
Did she,
braiders
like, wash, blow dry your hair?
No, I can't. Mind you, I woke up at 6 to wash and blow dry my hair, right?
Okay.
Like, I'm ready. Okay. So I'm like, okay. And I'm like, well, how long does it usually take you to, like, do the braids? She says, like, 8, but I always like to say 10.
10 hours for knotless braids?
She said 10 hours. And mind you, mine are not, they're medium sized. They're not small. They're not extra small. They're medium. And I'm like, 8. So I'm like, she capping. I'm like, she's a new young girl. She's overselling, right? Or underselling.
Yeah.
She's like, she doesn't want me to be disappointed. So
Yeah.
it's really going to take 5, right? But she's saying 8. to throw me
pushing
off.
it to 10, yeah.
When I tell
What?
y'all, I left my puppy in the cage because I'm like, oh, she'll be good for like 6-7 hours. Like, that's fine. Like, she'll be sleeping.
Because you made plans to get knotless
Right.
braids installed, not zillions. I haven't sat for 10 hours since I had zillions.
When
in
I tell y'all I
2008.
got home at 8:30 p.m., nigga. Now, I will say the braids are cute. The braids are cute.
They are.
But not 10
They
hours
real
cute.
even,
Not
yeah.
10 hours cute. I've never sat that long for braids.
She said, she just gave you the time it takes her. She said, fuck the standard time. It takes me 10 hours. So you going to
She
sit for
really-
10 hours and I'm going to have a lunch break to eat in between. I get the lunch break if it was zillions.
We took a lunch break. I ordered a poke bowl, thank God, because there's no way I was going to make it into the evening hours without eating. My back and butt hurt so much. It was terrible. It was terrible.
Did you
And-
bring something to play with? Like,
Right.
shit, 10
well, luckily
hours.
I brought my computer and I was able to do work, but after about 4 hours, 5 hours of doing
You were there longer than a normal work day.
on my day off. Okay. I was like, I watched a whole documentary on fucking Hulu. It was actually a food documentary about like Heinz and Hershey's and McDonald's, like all the big food people. I know like Post versus motherfucking General Mills. All that. Oh, my dog just fell out the window, y'all. Oh my God. Telly, sit down. Oh Jesus, she fine. Anyway. Yeah, so 10 hours, the braids are cute, but never again. Never again.
Wow, I'm gonna
I'm
hope for
embarrassed.
the best
I'm
of
embarrassed at that story.
your search for braiders. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, to be fair, it take me a long. I started learning how to do my own hair, so it takes me long. But that's because I make the decision that I'm gonna take a break for myself. But if I'm paying somebody, I would expect them to adhere to the standard times for
Absolutely.
most of
Like
them.
that's OD. I've never like that without shit. I got like spring twist and the girl washed me, blow dried me, all that in less than 10 hours. So
Yeah.
anyway, that was my
you
week.
kind of. I have to do my own little search, and I'm assuming there's hella people in New York because I want knotless braids. I just don't do them because I don't have the patience to make everything like parting my own head for them to look like even.
And you can really see the parts in knotless braids.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
try and I don't even want to. I probably could do it, but I don't want to exert that much effort into it. That's crazy.
Yeah. So anyway.
That's crazy.
So yeah, that was my week. But anyway, let's get into the main topic. So, me and Dana decided to let some of our listeners submit some listener letters. And don't forget, you can always email us at queentonepod@gmail.com.
Yep.
If
Or
you ever
DM
want to
us.
send or DM us,
Yeah.
or if you got our number, text us.
Yeah, we have a few questions people wanted to ask our opinions on, just general topics, and then as well as some specific like listener letters with details.
Yeah. All right.
So,
So, do you
we're
want to
gonna
go
get into
first,
them.
or you get into it?
Yep. So we have our first one. Hey, Queen Tone, I'm an avid listener and love your podcast. I have a dilemma and thought, who better to ask than the Queen Tone podcast? Thank you. So, my homegirl is in a wedding for a family member. My friend does not believe that the bride and groom should be married. It's not her place to judge, but she has seen too much and doesn't believe their marriage is really rooted in God at the center. Should she tell her family member she can't be in it or mind her business? Be supportive and wait to see if they last? What should she do?
They getting married in a panorama. That's the first mistake. That's no, I'm just playing. I don't know. You didn't say when the wedding was.
I don't know.
So let
when
me
the
not.
wedding
I'm
is.
gonna hope the best.
And it could be over Zoom. I think it's more so just the wedding. Or no, she said she's in the wedding, so
She's in the wedding, so they have to.
yeah.
I'm gonna let
Unless-
you do you. I'm not gonna concentrate on that part.
Yeah.
Let me think. What would I do? I don't think I would. part of me is like, it's not about you. So it's like, be there and support it for your friend. Or is it cousin? Was it cousin?
It just as a family member.
Oh, family
so
member.
Let's say cousin, sure.
Yeah. So like, be there for your family member. If it's, as long as it's not like physically, mentally harmful, or like, you know, like some people you just don't like, you just don't click with. It's fine. Then I would just be supportive and don't say anything.
Yeah, I'm not too much of a person where what says judge. Like, just because you don't like the person, I don't think that's a good enough reason to say something like, oh, I don't like the way he smile or some shit like that. But like, if it's, you don't feel like your family member is safe in that marriage or something like that, preferably you would have addressed that before they got married. If you felt close enough
or
to,
before they got engaged.
Yeah. I don't know. I can say I would never be someone's maid of honor if I didn't truly like agree with their marriage. But like a bridesmaid?
I mean, but in what? I guess it just depends on the level. Is it like he's beating her ass, he's cheating on her, like that? Or I understand.
Is he not just the best pick? Because I know a lot of people who are married and they'll say like, my friend didn't like my husband until 10 years into the marriage, or, you know, something like that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know.
If you just don't vibe with him and you don't want to go to brunch with the nigga, okay. Like,
yeah.
What did like you being kind of selfish?
Yeah.
It's a hard one. Let's move on.
That is a hard one, because I'm just like, I also just don't ask me to be in your. I don't know. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's see. Okay. So, hey, ladies. So, a girl chat was having a discussion on how women, and then in parentheses it says, well, we're all black women, so we'll just assume black women. Discussion on how women perpetuate toxic masculinity and how we do not, quote unquote, allow men to openly express emotions, outwardly discuss mental illness and health, and truly just be whole emotional humans. I've also been rewatching Insecure, and it got me thinking, if roles were reversed, would we have given Issa more grace for being unemployed and depressed for 5 years than we as viewers gave Lawrence? He wasn't a bum with no aspirations, but rather just stuck and depressed. Curious to know you guys' thoughts. Sign, Insecurious.
Insecurious.
That's a good question.
That's an interesting question. Part of me feels like I don't know any women who are allowed to just like go for their dreams without any pushback on like you should be somebody's, I don't know, like doing something with your life. But I'm trying to think if that's just because I feel that pressure or what. I don't know. I really don't know. What do you think? Would people have given Issa more grace?
I think definitely.
Okay.
I think so answering the question like as a viewer, I think we would have sympathized more with her, whatever reason, if she was just kind of figuring stuff out and doing, you know, and Lawrence was out with a job trying to figure stuff out. I think that would have looked more like a quote unquote gender, based on gender roles, like that would have looked better. Like the man making money and the woman like still figuring stuff out. Okay. I think because it was reversed and Issa was going out, like going against her quote unquote gender role to take care of both of them, it was seen as like, not only is Lawrence suffering through depression or trying to figure out his career or whatever, but he's not providing for them.
He's not even
and so
providing.
Then he's not a man.
Yeah, I see. I do see that. I mean, I guess the other part of me though would say, but Issa was depressed and hated her job, yet she still decided to push forward. Yeah. And I just feel like that's the pressure that a lot of black women feel, where it's like, I gotta be I don't have the luxury of a man, because I also feel that like that notion of a man taking care of you is steeped in whiteness, and I'm not saying like that in a negative way, because I think society is like, oh, men provide. But I also think that's like a white woman thing, because I don't know any stay-at-home moms growing up that were black. I'm trying to think. Do I know stay-at-home moms? See, I grew up poor, so maybe I'm just not the best person.
Well, no, they were. Well, my grandmother would stay at home. My grandfather, after the Great Migration, he moved up and had that quote unquote good job at the plant at Chrysler. So were they flowing with money? No, but did they have food on the table every day? Yeah. And my aunt was a stay-at-home mom too, but they weren't.
Okay. Don't ignore me. I can. I can acknowledge my own bias.
It's not. I would say it's not. From our age, it's not normal, because every person I know our age who had parents who stayed at home, they were white, and I went to middle school with them. So I see both sides, but that's a good question.
Yeah, that was we didn't really answer it. Sorry.
Yeah.
They had a more definitive answer than I did.
My first gut would be because for Lawrence, not only was he depressed and everything, but it was like he wasn't living up to his gender role. And I think if Issa would have stayed home or been depressed, she wouldn't have been. Well, she probably could have if she's not cooking and all that, whatever. You agree with, maybe
people would have been more understanding. I could, because it's like, oh, well, women are supposed to be hysterical and break down and emotional, I guess, so I get that part too.
Yeah. Okay, next. So these were a few DMs. What are your thoughts on entanglements and or open relationships? Was Jada wrong? Was August wrong? Have y'all seen these play out in real life? What you think?
Let me look up the definition of entanglement before.
Well, didn't Jada define entanglement?
Yeah, an action or fact of entangling or being entangled. Okay, that doesn't help. A complicated or compromising relationship or situation. Which she was spot on, because she was like, I wasn't in a relationship, it was an entanglement. It was complicated. It was compromising.
She had been briefed. She knew exactly what. No, I never said it was a relationship.
Relationship. I said entanglement, and I mean, this is what we always get mad at niggas for. They be using the right words at the wrong time. And yeah, it did seem like an entanglement. I do though think, and Dana, we talked about this. Like, I do feel that because of the age difference, Jada's role in that seemed inappropriate and kind of predatory.
Yeah.
But I can also acknowledge, which goes back to our last question, I gave her a lot of slack because she's a woman. And I just know that if she was a man, I probably would feel stronger about it. But I was kind of like, oh man, that's really fucked up, Jada. You shouldn't have done that. But I wasn't like, I'm not going to not support Jada off of that, and maybe I would think twice if it was a man. So just also acknowledging that bias. Yeah.
I feel like if it was Will and Zendaya, we would not. It would be completely different.
Zendaya is way younger.
August Alsina's 22. Zendaya's 24 and August Alsina is 27.
Zendaya is already 24?
Because that was a side note. That was a big thing on that movie that's coming out with her and John David Washington. Of like, she seems really young. She is 24. But she actually is older than what people associate with her. My thoughts on entanglement. I feel like, so when this thing came out about Jada and the entanglement and everything, I feel like people were looking at me crazy because I was going with the logic of what Jada and Will's marriage was. She didn't cheat because he was aware of it.
Yeah, he didn't. I don't think she cheated.
No. And he said in the thing that he was about to walk away and he chose to come back. I think my biggest thing is the age difference and the fact that when they talked about what August was going through in his own personal life, having lost, I think his sister was raising his nieces, his mom. He had mental issues. He entered the family as a friend of Jaden, which is her son.
Right.
And they were, and
all
she was like
mentoring
him and like kind of being a motherly figure towards him. And so that's where the predatory age difference, like, you could say she took advantage of him. Even if both of them were in a vulnerable state, she still should have been the adult because that was her child's friend. as opposed to they were just two grown people. Like, they didn't meet in a club and were just vibing. She knew what he was going through.
And still, that's really creepy. That's really creepy. It really is.
Yeah, it's irresponsible. I think that's the issue, not the entanglement or open relationship.
I mean, because if you grown and I don't give a fuck what y'all doing over here.
If it's
I just know what's happening over here. That's all. If y'all are too consensual, exactly. If it's consensual, non-abusive, y'all are grown. There's no predatory behavior. I don't give a fuck what y'all do. It's just not gonna be me. Also, I do still critique people with like when you want to open. Well, you know what? Actually, that's not my. I'm gonna eat my rice and mind my business. Y'all do what y'all want to do.
Another DM. How y'all? Oh, this is definitely someone from Detroit. How y'all feel about your boy Kwame being free?
You know, that happened when we were really young. So I only know some of the things. I want to say we were in college when the transcripts came out.
We were in high school because I read every single one of them text messages between him and Christine.
Yeah, I was about to say, I remember, but I was still like, I read them, but I didn't understand the context or that he went to jail for perjury and like I didn't understand.
I was only talking about the affair. That's how much.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there was this really good podcast. It's called I think it's called The City, but let me double check. But the first season did Chicago. The second season did Detroit. And basically they just followed like different political leaders and like controversies and corruption that happened in Chicago and Detroit in these two different seasons. So I learned a lot about the Kwame Kilpatrick situation and how people were perceiving it at the time and how he was called the hip hop mayor and he was, you know, young and black and hip and all that stuff. Like just the context of how he rose to power. And like basically what his downfall was. And it taught me a lot. So to answer your question, I am happy to see him get out because I felt like knowing what I know now, he was given a very, very tough sentence and a lot of years for something that his white counterparts would have never spent that much time in prison for. They were trying to make an example out of him because he was young, black, and flashy. Mind you, he did everything they convicted him of. Like that is, I'm not disputing that whatsoever. He absolutely stole money from the city of Detroit. He bribed people. He, you know, obstruction and lying and perjury, all that, he did it. So, but I never want to see a black man go to prison, like, over some stuff like that. Like, you know, so, you know, I'm happy to see him get out now. I don't know if he should be running for mayor again or like any political office.
Since he was commune.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
you know, some people, depending on what your sentence was and what you got convicted for, some people do go back and run for office. It just depends on which office. Like, is it local? You can never be federally elected, but you can be locally elected. Like, there's all those different rules depending on what your crime was.
Yeah. I agree. I think he wasn't innocent. Like, he did, like you said, he did those crimes, but 28 years was excessive.
Yes, absolutely.
And I don't know, I can't just form my mouth to say that a black man should sit in jail, especially because, and this may be going off, but like prison is not rehabilitative. So it's like, what's the,
right.
He's not going to learn his lesson or be, you know, it's just, right. It was entirely too excessive. If anybody should get 28 years in prison, it should be, what's that head ass nigga name? Rick Snyder for Flint and the water pollution. Like, he should definitely.
The most he can get is like probation or something for what they charged him for, negligence or willful ignorance. He should serve
every single day of 28 years and then be eligible to serve 28 again. I know that's not how the law works, but still, like. Yeah. Hopefully he spends time. I was texting my dad because I couldn't remember how old his kids were now, but they're like in college or high school. So I hope he focuses on just, you know.
Is his mama still in the state? Because his mama was a state rep, so I wonder if his mama's still a state rep.
They moved to Atlanta?
The Kilpatricks was a dynasty, boy. When I tell y'all, go listen to this podcast. I'm telling y'all,
we'll include the link.
Season 2. It really taught me a lot.
Yeah. I just think it was excessive, and I'm glad his entire life isn't going to be wasted. in prison.
Right.
A next one of my white coworkers always ask about my hair and the different styles I rock. So I'm assuming this is a black girl. She asked how to wrap.
What?
She asked how to wrap her hair because she heard it's helpful. She asked about my hair products and how I change it up so much. Why are white people so intrigued with black hair? Do y'all ever experience this? I just, in my mind, I just imagine a white woman trying to wrap her bone straight hair around her head. And trying to see.
Yeah, why would you, what would be,
I get why it's fascinating because there's not many things that they can do with their hair. But I don't think it's an appropriate. I'm assuming because she said her white coworker, and not like her white friend or something, that y'all don't have the relationship where you would sit around and like trade things. I don't know. So long-winded way to answer this question. So back when people believed that racism had just started existing, like in June of 2020, with all the protests and everything, we had like this racial bias presentation, whatever, at work. And one of the slides like showed how most black people at work, they want people to respect them, while as white people just want people to like them. And so white people maneuver in that way of like, how can I talk to you and get to know you and do things like so I can be liked? Versus black people, for the most part, maneuver their workplace on like, how can I be respected? How can I get promoted and do blah, blah, blah. And that was obvious to me, but when they put it like and showed statistics off a survey and all that stuff, it made sense. And I feel like this is why black people are not prone to talk about their lives, and one, because it's different, and I would feel like I would be teaching you everything as opposed to us having a conversation, and two, because I don't need to talk about stuff about this to get you to like me.
Right.
I just need you to respect, like, is that report gonna be on my
that.
desk? Like, are these numbers right?
All that other shit don't mean
right.
nothing.
Are you gonna actually speak my name when they're talking about promotions because you know I'm the best? Like, that's what I care about more than you showing me pictures of your 12 cats.
I also think it's just survival mode, because also we don't get, it's one thing to be nice, but like offering too much of my personal information to me, I don't trust. Like, unfortunately, I don't trust people, especially non-POC, because you know it can be violent or harmful. You know, it's like if you're a powerful black person, black woman, people can be intimidated by that and try to throw shade or like not be helpful, and they'll use things against you. And that's, you know, honestly, I understand that might be controversial to some people, but this is like what black folks are thinking through. Like, I can't let too much of myself be known here because they're going to use it against me to get rid of it because I am disposable, right? Yeah. So there's also kind of a bit of a guard up about telling people stuff about your personal life.
Especially because if I could just think about what this conversation would be like in real time, it would be the black person providing everything and then the white person learning everything. So it's like, to your point, there's no protection. I'm giving up everything. As opposed to, I've had coworkers who were Indian, and I feel like we learned a lot from each other, but it was anytime one of their holidays would come up, it was like, oh, let me tell you about, it was more of like a culture sharing. So it was culture equal. Sharing, yeah. And so I had no problem like explaining. And I remember intricately explaining my hair to this one woman, and she was explaining like, well, here's how we do weddings and blah, 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 blah. So to your point, I didn't feel like it was threatening or I was going to, she could, you know, turn on me or do whatever. It was just two people from different cultures learning about each other. And I don't feel like that's always the intention or what actually plays out specifically with white coworkers. Not all, but most.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, that's kind of, I mean, All right, and always Jaden XD. If y'all don't listen to that podcast, it's pretty funny. But they have these shirts and it says "Say no to coworkers." It's just like some, like I don't need people all up in my business. I don't want to go to no staff potluck with y'all little cat paws all up in y'all macaroni salad with the raisins in it. Like, not interested.
A whole bunch of after hours things.
Yeah, nah.
No.
Say no to coworkers.
It
is better.
100%
Let's keep work at work.
Yeah.
There's I have a handful of people that I really, really F with at work. Everybody else is like, I'm really nice and cordial, and it is genuine, but not like, it don't need to be more than how's the weather, and we don't need to get into my deepest, darkest secrets. Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah.
To the next question.
We got some Detroit. Clearly, we have a lot of Detroit listeners. This one is from a West Side hottie.
West Side hottie.
Below are some group chat topics me and my girls have had in the past. Would love to hear you all's opinion on one, some, or all. Let's see. Oh, okay. Let's do. You ladies both went to prestigious universities for your degrees. So I'm curious as to why you didn't choose an HBCU, and if you could, would you choose one now?
I'm about to get in trouble. The HBCU people not gonna like what I got to say. Go ahead.
I'll go first. Mine was solely money. When it came down to University of Michigan College of Engineering, who was offering a full scholarship, compared to North Carolina A&T for engineering, who was offering me $5,000.
Yeah.
And I was in-state in Michigan, so it was cheaper. But looking back on it, and this is specifically for me being in engineering, I wish I would have known about what a lot of my friends were in, the dual degree program, where you could go to a HBCU, get a degree, and then you could go to another university and get a engineering degree. It's like a 3-2 program. So where a lot of my friends went to Spelman or Morehouse, and then they transferred to either Michigan or I think Stanford is also one of them, Georgia Tech, other schools to then get an engineering degree. So in 5 years, you come out with 2 degrees. I wish I would have done that, but I would always, the money was my number one thought, and I wish they would have given me more money now.
Yeah.
In reverse though, now I do donate money to North Carolina A&T, so hopefully somebody who was in my dilemma in the future, they'll be able to choose a HBCU.
That's a good idea. I should do that. I have not done that. I don't even donate to the schools I went to, girl.
Oh, I would. Let me put this on record. I would never give the University of Michigan a penny or Duke a penny unless it was specifically going to their black students. Yes. Let me know it's a melanated hand.
USC ain't getting shit from me. I was gonna say, people who went to HBCU is not gonna like my answer. When I tell you, I got accepted to Spelman and I got accepted to Howard. Now, I never finished my Spelman application, but I got a letter of acceptance, hand to God. I got a letter of acceptance in the mail, and I was like, I never finished it. Now, could that be my bad memory? Maybe I did finish it, whatever. But got into Spelman. And if I ever get famous and y'all call Spelman and they like, no, we never sent her, I swear to God, I got a letter of acceptance in the mail. I'm just going to say that now. But if they say they don't got a record of it, then cool. I never responded to it, but I'm just putting that disclaimer out. Anyway, got accepted to Howard. Went there for a weekend. I was like pro-black. I was like, I'm majoring in African American studies. I'm going to Howard. I'm moving to DC. Period. Nobody's gonna stop me. Nothing. Nobody can tell me nothing. Went for a students weekend. It was cool. Went to the club for the first time. We went to parties. The person who hosted me, oh my God, I can't remember her name, but we're still Facebook friends. She was cool. But when I started looking at literally they dorms, water was leaking. I saw a mouse. The facilities were just not what I thought that they were going to be. And then the tuition, their package was just terrible. I was going to have to pay so much money to go there. And then I got into Michigan early enrollment. So I was like, I guess my backup can be Michigan. At least I don't have to pay tuition for real. And I can still get a good degree, but I almost went. And if the facilities had been better and if that financial aid package had been better, I'd be an HU grad right now. But that whole weekend changed my entire outlook. Now, I will say, though, if I ever went back to school, because I went to Michigan for undergrad, I went to a private school for grad school. So if I ever went back, I would go to a HBCU, like if I ever wanted like a PhD or something like that. Because that would be cool to say that I went to like the 3 tiers of colleges, but until then, and I mean PhD full ride. I'm not paying nobody to get a degree. Like, not no more. I know better now. All right, that was a good question.
So you ain't want to go because it was some leaky faucets.
And a mouse. I'm sorry.
You anti-black.
Okay. I you know what? I'm gonna receive that. I'm not even gonna hold you up. I'm gonna receive that as a critique,
like,
and I'm gonna think about it.
Was Bursley all that better?
I didn't live in Bursley. I was in East Quad.
Was that better before the renovation?
East Quad was fine. East Quad was a beautiful historical building.
I saw mice. No, I'm just
Girl.
No, I did see a mouse in East Quad, but
at the time I was like, "What is this?
Yeah,
what is
it's
this?"
kind of
for the price. For the price, I was like, "Oh no."
Yeah, but to the point, it's a lack of funding that then produced those symptoms to turn people away.
Right.
If they had the right money and support, because it's not that, oh, it's a bad school, oh, it's not, you don't get a quality education, oh, it's whatever. It's just,
it was like superficial stuff, and
you see the result.
Like,
you see the results of schools without money. Yeah,
the school looked nice. It's ranked for what I want to do. Cool, like, and it's cheaper.
Yeah.
Why move to DC? And that's just like, honestly, what ended up happening. But as an adult, like I said, if I went back to school, I'd go to HBCU. One thing I don't regret though, I didn't apply to any Ivy Leagues or undergrad, and I would have really. Now that I look back on, I'm like, why didn't you apply to Harvard? Why didn't you apply to Stanford? Like I could have totally gotten to any of those schools, but I just didn't even try.
I didn't apply to those either, and I don't regret it because I think Michigan is the most uppity white people I could deal with.
I just feel like
I don't think I could have come out of that experience as a whole.
Like not being jaded.
Yeah, like I
fuck the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because even from all of my schools have been, I've been educated in all predominantly white spaces, and I couldn't do an Ivy. Not because I couldn't get in, and not because I couldn't thrive academically.
You just don't think,
I think everything outside of taking tests and turning in my homework would have driven me crazy. And that's so much
type of carrying on, because I like arguing with people, and I feel like people who go to Ivy Leagues, all they do is argue and pontificate about shit all day, and I would have loved it.
Yeah, there was it was a clip of, I think, Harvard debating over if was it affirmative action, and it was a good debate, and this one girl was killing this dude, and like agreement of. It was some dude who was like, oh, we shouldn't have affirmative action, but you should still get married if you're a legacy or if you have blah, blah, blah. And she like destroyed his thinking in one point. And
that's literally, what's the point?
Yeah.
Like, that's the same shit, but worse. Giving privileged people more privilege.
Yes.
People are dumb.
How
many more you want to do?
We can do the last 3 of these. I think one of these will be short. So, how would you react to your husband or spouse, but you're legally married? So, how would you react to your spouse losing/spending a large amount of money you both had in savings or had access to and didn't tell you until you found the money missing? An example would be they gambled it away or lost a bad investment. And you didn't find out until you saw the money missing.
Gambling, I'm fucking divorcing you. Bad investment, did I know you made the investment?
No.
But I just didn't know it went bad?
It said they didn't tell you any. So basically, whatever they did with the money, they took it and didn't tell you until you found out the money was missing.
What did that one guy? You're going to jail. You're going to jail. What? No, our money, and it's our money. It's not just your money, because I'm a believer of 3 accounts: mine, yours, ours. So as long as it's not mine or ours, I don't care what you do with your bank account. But if it's ours, oh, you got me fucked up.
It said a large amount of money you both had in savings. So, like, some people, it may have your account and it's yours, but your spouse has access to it, even if they never, like, are going in and taking money out of it. If something were to happen, they would have access to the account. So whether it was in Nina Ann's savings or it was in yours, but he had access to it.
See, ain't nobody gonna have access to my shit.
Okay, but in the question, they do. So.
I don't understand. No, I'm divorced. Divorce me, please. Like, what? You're not good with... I'm not marrying anybody who's not good with money, period. I've been poor enough in my life. I'm good.
Well, I'll just say a bad investment. They could still be good with money and invest poorly. Because it's dependent on...
That's why I said, did I know? Because it's like, oh, we
basically, let's say, regardless of y'all joint, they took $50,000 out of somewhere. Not all of your money, but they took a large chunk of it. And the only way you found out was when you realized the money was missing. So it's not like they said, babe, I made a mistake.
Divorce me, please. That's easy. What about you?
So I've actually had a similar conversation about this with my mom, but more so like, to know me is to know I am very frugal and I'm a Capricorn's Capricorn, which means I'm very serious about money and my money and how it's budgeted and how, every aspect of it. So for me, I could not fathom this because for someone to get as far as marrying me and knowing how I felt about our money, my money, whatever, access to it, and then the fact that you did not tell me and I had to find out, I honestly think out of the whole situation, me having to find out all of this and you still not telling me would be grounds for like, nah, bro.
It's a problem.
Like,
period.
Nah, bro. I can deal with like, hey, you told me you were going to take $10,000 to do this investment and it was a bad investment and you made it, either the market wasn't what you thought it was or whatever. I can get that. But like, money is gone and I don't know until I go in because I have an emergency and I need to get money and the money's not there because you've been down at Greektown for the past no. And then they don't even say if they have kids because like, are you stealing you fucking up like our family's money?
Right.
Like, is Lil Dana not going to be able to do basketball in the summer because you stole or not? Well, it is stealing. Yeah.
It's a wrap.
The money and the money and the lying. Don't put this on record, but I could probably fathom. I don't think I'm gonna say that out loud. I think I could fathom cheating more than I could fathom something like this. Money and lying to me, and me having to find out, and you putting the stability of our family. I think because these are like very foundational things for me that are important: financial stability of and you just lying about it. No. I'm getting worked up, and that's not even a hypothetical. Like, there's no husband that actually. If you were to see your partner out in a compromising situation where it appears that they are cheating, would you address them in the moment, wait until you are in private, or not address at all? A friend saw her boyfriend out to a sexy dinner with another woman when it was assumed that he was quote unquote relaxing from a long day at work.
See, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to take a picture. I'm going to go home. If we share a home or if you have stuff at my home, I'm going to fold your stuff really nicely. I'm going to go ahead and print that picture. I'm going to either, if I have time, if I'm really trying to be petty, I'm going to get it printed on a hoodie. If I don't have that much time and I just really need you out, I'm going to neatly fold all of your shit. I'm going to print out the picture. I'm going to pour bleach all of your nicely folded things that are now on the porch. I'm going to put that picture on top. And I'm going to say, have a good night. And that's it. I'm not going to say anything else. That's what I would do. What would you do?
She said her boyfriend, right?
I think so.
Look,
Or did she just say partner?
It said partner out. Oh, a friend saw her boyfriend out to a sexy dinner with an. Okay, so it's just a boyfriend. You can't see me, but my mouth was dropped because I too would pack up all your shit that's at my place, get my shit from your place, and then just be gone.
Ghost.
Be gone. And then if you text me, I'm just gonna say, "Oh, I'm relaxing from a hard day of work," and I'll just be relaxing for the rest of my life from a hard day of work. That's what I'll do if I'm calm. If I'm in a state of rage, which that even sounds funny coming out of my mouth. I don't get in states of rages, so yeah, I would, yeah. Actually, no, I take that back. I would walk over to that table. I would tap on his shoulder.
Pull a brown sugar.
I would smile at him.
My divorce.
I would introduce myself to the woman. I would compliment her so he can feel, so he don't know what the fuck is about to happen. I would compliment her. Hey, girl, I love your hair. You are wearing that lip. I see your brow, whatever. Compliment her. Introduce her as his girlfriend. Like, hi, I'm Dana, his girlfriend. And then walk away. And then block, and then that be done. Because then, only what I say, I would walk up to him, so then he can't lie about the situation because I'm there right in front of him. Like, then he can't be like, it was just a friend, and I see her, and then she's sitting there with her nipple out. Like, no, she was dressed like it was a date. Like, were you paying? Yeah. No, it was a date. You were in a restaurant that was on the top list of most romantic places in the city. Like, see me here, it's not gonna work. And I would be gone. Because you just lying. At that point, you just lying. Like,
yeah.
If you don't want to be monogamous, don't be in a monogamous relationship.
This reminds me of the time in high school. And the only reason, I promise y'all, I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy. Like, I'm crazy, but I'm not that crazy. But in high school, and I'm not proud of this, I had a boyfriend, and he broke up with me because I would not have sex with him, and he was tired of waiting, and so I was on the dance team, and he was on the football team. So every game I wore his away jersey, right, to the games. Mm-hmm. I took his jersey, drenched it in bleach, put it in his locker, soaking wet, drenched in bleach, and then put the lyrics to Irreplaceable, which was a huge song at the time, on my locker. And I did something else. But yeah, that was a bit crazy. That was a bit dramatic.
Happens with bleach, look to Nina.
Yeah.
You know in the game Clue where it's like, what was the weapon?
Niggas hate when you bleach their stuff.
It was bleach. Yeah. Did he wear Jordans? I would have.
Oh, yeah, I guess. But I didn't have his shoes. I just had his jersey. But mind you, our colors were maroon and white. And so his away jersey was maroon. But at the time,
dang. So now he got two. Now he got a pink jersey.
Pink. Yes.
Yeah. I think
not proud of that. Not proud of that, but I did do that.
Hey, I've done some petty shit. And you know I'm good with, like, technology and stuff. So people's accounts
yeah.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they made a bad investment. They don't know what happened to their money.
One of my friends, when we were in high school, so Facebook was still just like your high school peers or whatever. Mm-hmm. She found out her boyfriend was cheating on her because he was sending dick pics to people on Crushbot. That's how you know. That's
I remember Crushbot. Yes.
So, and she had his password to his accounts. She went and changed all of his profile pictures to his own dick picture, because it wasn't a print, it was a dick pic. Mm-hmm. He changed all the profile pictures, Crushbot, Facebook, MySpace, to his dick, and then changed the password, and then broke up with him.
What?
And she said, since you want everybody to see your dick.
Oh my God, that's extreme. I mean, like, what? I don't even know how to respond to that. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
This was like 16-year-old crazy. So.
Wow, that is. Yikes. Revenge porn is never a good idea, guys.
Yeah, I'm
not. I mean,
and I think they were
know
both,
you're not saying that.
Yeah. Were they both under 18?
Yeah.
Because then it's child revenge. I don't know. Yeah, but still, it was. You know, then things didn't have like two-part authentication and ways to easily access your password again. So like, baby boy had all his glory showing for a while.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Yeah. But yes, we'll be doing these types of episodes. Thanks for all those who DM'd us, wrote us, emailed us, or just shot us a quick text. If you have any stories or questions or anything like that, like we said at the top of the episode, feel free to email us, queentonepod@gmail.com. Hit us up on Twitter or Instagram DMs at queentonepod. Or if you have my phone number or Nina's, just shoot us a text. And then we'll have another episode where your question or story may get read and shared.
Yep. All right, now. Y'all go spend y'all stimmies. If you got one. Surprisingly, I know I was talking shit on the last episode. I got something in the mail. Apparently, they giving out cards now. Now, I don't know how much is on it, so it might be $20. But hey, I'm a activate it, see how much I got. I might go get a Chipotle bowl. I'm blessed.
No guac, though, if it's only $20. Well, you're in Chicago. Maybe you can get that.
Maybe. We'll see. I either got to get... I mean, they're going to have to pick between guac or double chicken. Yeah.
There's a Black-owned Chick-fil-A that just opened in Chicago.
Oh, yeah. In the South Loop, I saw that.
Yeah.
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 Sure, it's delicious.
All right, then. That's our show. Until next time. This episode was produced by us and edited by Daner Cole. Our theme music is the track Same by Ricky Els. Be sure to check it out on all streaming platforms. For questions, comments, feedback, or topic suggestions, hit us up at queentonepod@gmail.com. Be sure to also check us out and follow on Instagram and Twitter @queentonepod. Thanks for listening.